And we're live, and we've got Maury from the very famous Maurys music. For those of us who love Martins, I think Maurys is one of the outlets where most of us will look at least and gawk at all the gorgeous Martins that he has in stock. Welcome to the chat, Maury.
Thank you very, very much. It's a real pleasure to be here. I appreciate it.
Oh, great. It's our honor. Maybe without further ado, I can get you maybe just to give us a rundown about sort of the history behind the business.
Oh, certainly. I'd be happy to. We've been in business since 2003. We're a very family-oriented business. My wife and I own and operate MaurysMusic.com. We became a Martin dealer in 2003. My brother Andrew works with us in sales and custom shop. And we have another friend who helps us do some accounting and data entry, but it's really, most of the business is three people, 5 days a week with a part-time fourth person. We've been very, very lucky to be one of Martin's top dealers ever since we started. We basically took the idea to totally concentrate directly on Martin guitar and little or nothing else for all this time. We do definitely cater to online sales. So over the years, we've just been, trying to cultivate a really, really good amount of trust. And we wanted to be, if you're looking for a Martin guitar, whether it's, in person or online, we wanted to be the dealer who really knows the Martin line. That's the guitar that I've grown up with. It's what I play. And we have that saying, we play the products we sell. Almost everything that we have here, if you want to know how it works in the real world, I've used it. I continue to use it. So the history of the business in a nutshell is my wife and I, since '03, my brother came and joined us early on, took a break and came back. And we just basically, the three of us, spent all these years just trying to get better and better at giving customers some long distance advice, some videos. We try as hard as we can to put a lot of good YouTube content together. We basically take the approach that most of our customers, especially now, can't come and play the guitar in person before they buy it. So we want to be that store that puts, so much effort into the internet side of things that you can, buy with trust. You can take a look at us online and recognize that we've been a very good dealer for Martin over the years. And part of it is we want to make sure we do what we can to help you get the right guitar the first time. It's easy to see a lot of places, want you to buy a guitar online and they give you a return policy, which we do. We want you to take a little extra time with us in the beginning and make sure we get you the right guitar so you won't have to return it. So it's been pretty exciting, and I'm thrilled and lucky every day to call this my job.
That's a great place to start, great place to evolve from, and many congratulations. I know that you've always been one of the largest independent dealers of Martins around, and I suppose being online, how has COVID affected your shop, your business?
Well, thank you very much for the kind words. We certainly have been, one of Martin's top dealers ever since the beginning, and I think whether it's an unfair advantage or not, we might have had 175 to 250 Martin guitars in stock almost all the time, going from '03 up until a couple of years ago. And other big stores that wanted to compete for that title might also have inventory dedicated to other brands, other instruments, drums and keyboards. So, we basically took all the money from a music store and put it all at Martin, or most of it at Martin. So that really helped us become a big dealer and stay a big dealer. But to answer your question about COVID, it's kind of interesting the way it happened. I think a lot of people would recognize that the demand for guitar just skyrocketed pretty quickly and pretty substantially, and steadily. It seems like the more people recognized they were going to stay home, that was a great time to revisit the guitar. For a lot of people, it was a great time to gift the guitar or try learning. So how it helped us, or how it affected us as far as our business online, since we were already trying to cater to the online customer anyway, we're getting better and better at it every year. When the world and the pandemic really forced a lot of players who Maybe if they had their druthers, they wouldn't want to go online, but they feel like they have to. That brought us a lot of extra customers, a lot of people who might wanted to try us or compare us to their local dealer. They were almost, for better or worse, sort of forced to try the online thing. So it really worked okay for us. We saw a real boon in sales. The only problem was after, this was going back to like late last March and April, by the middle of May last year, we actually sold through too many instruments and couldn't get any. So we took a week off. It was very unprecedented. But last year we took 1 or 2 weeks off in May because we had nothing to sell. And the reality of it now is the interest has never died down. All the uptick in online interest has kept steady, but Martin lost almost 4 months of production, and they came back to, reopen safely and following all protocols. They came back to a market that completely swelled. More and more dealers were asking for more and more guitars than they ever were before. So production, fell apart. Demand skyrocketed, and right now we're seeing a situation where instead of being able to keep 220 guitars in stock, we might have 60, and we're going to sell 5 or 6 a week, or maybe 10 a week, and then get 2 or 3 more. Whereas last, 2 years ago, we could sell 12 guitars in a week, as an example. And if we needed to get any more, we could get them within a couple of days. So now we had a customer on the phone just yesterday looking for a D42. We sold our last one maybe last week. We're not going to get another one until February. So how did it affect us with online sales? The interest spiked, and we're doing very well, but we can't get enough new guitars to satisfy the new orders as fast as we want to. So it's been a challenge.
Right. Well, that's a nice problem to have, I guess, where the demand outstrips the supply. Although it's painful to see customers not getting essentially, I guess, instruments that are fabulous.
Oh yeah, I mean, we almost, and I would love to ask Martin the same question. You want the demand to exceed the supply somewhat, but how much do you want it to? Because if somebody's you really wanting to get a D42, you want to have 3 D42s for 4 people who are buying them, but now we're going to have no D42s for 14 people who want to buy them. And it's I know when I went to Martin this time 2 years ago, they had a formula where they want to have some guitars on the shelf in the warehouse, but they don't want the warehouse full. They don't want the warehouse empty. It's a balance, and it's a guessing game as far as how many guitars you want to have ready. We really did enjoy being able to stock as many as we want anytime we wanted to. And as you know, we're only an hour away from the factory. So if there was something in a rare instance where we didn't have the guitar we need on a Monday or a Tuesday, we could have it by Friday. So those days are over right now.
I bet. And I guess because you've had such a long experience in matching the right guitar to the right player, and even in the online space where it's more challenging than when somebody comes in and tries out guitars, what are your top tips for shopping for guitars, especially kind of higher end guitars?
Well, it's the old adage, if you can play it first, that's the very best thing. If you have a friend, even if it's not the specific guitar you're trying to buy, if you're looking, for example, to buy a standard series Martin, like a 0028, if you can get your hands on something that has that neck, even if it's a 0018 or an OM28, if you can recognize that you like the feel of it, and going further to say maybe the string spacing or the body depth, if you have some advantage or some opportunity to take advantage of, say I want to buy Martin, I want to buy a standard series, and I know I like the 000, I know I like short scale, then the best thing we can offer you is check out our videos. Almost every guitar we have online, on the videos tab for that product page, Spoon Phillips as well as I do. He's been in our studio enough times I could say most of the stuff we have in the Martin catalog dating 2018 backwards, we've done a real long in-depth video with Spoon. More often than not, we've done some what I call 4-chord demos where I'll just play really quickly through 4 chords, both strumming and fingerstyle. We want you to listen to a video, maybe with good headphones or good speakers is the best. And then the worst thing you can really do is hurry. If you are sort of unsure, I really think it takes some time. Even if you think you want to buy something today, give yourself a couple more days to think about it. ask us in an email or on the phone. And something we've recently just started doing earlier this year called Live by Request. Some of our customers have taken advantage of it and let me know somebody reached out and they wanted to buy a D45. Could I hear it first? What we'll do for you is, if we can coordinate it and you have the time and the schedule, let me know when you want to see it. Hypothetically, you could tell me today's not good, but maybe Monday. Let's go on YouTube at 2:00. I'll be on a call just like this, but it will be viewable to the public, and you can tell me, play it with a thick pick, play it with a Colorado capo, can you finger style? And that it doesn't replace being able to play the guitar first, but we do feel that a good quality transparent video, whether it's pre-recorded or live by request, I really think the internet's brought a lot of technology to us that you can do a lot to make sure you get the right guitar, and that would probably be my advice.
Got it. And well, I guess this is really the part that I should ask. And what's your favorite guitar? I mean, it has to be a Martin, obviously, but which model?
I think you were safe asking me that. That's definitely obvious. I'll tell you the truth. I've been playing a Martin OM28V religiously since 1998. It was a gift from my wife on our first married Christmas, so it's special anyway. And that's a guitar that I just really have never gone away from. So that's probably my favorite specific guitar. When it comes to modern Martins, and maybe you can appreciate this, it's a mood thing. I definitely can go upstairs and pick some guitars from inventory and really find what I want to play. And they might not be the same guitars I want to pick, next week or definitely next year. But currently, some of my favorite guitars, for better or worse, are some of the most modern and forward thinking. And then some of the oldest, I brought a couple guitars to show you if you wanted to see. I've got at least two guitars here that showcase both the most modern Martin that they've had, and probably one of the best authentic versions of an older Martin. And if you'll indulge me, I'll show you the first one first.
Oh yeah, please.
Let me see here. The first one I want to show you is the SC13E. So this guitar is my favorite when I think of what would I play at a gig. A lot of forumites and people on the Facebook groups ask, pretty often, what's a great stage guitar? This guitar is hands down what I would say in that respect, and it's not just because you can play comfortably past the 12th fret and the design has no heel. This certainly is marketed for those players who might consider themselves electric players or lead guitarists. But it's important that I don't forget to say this is a great guitar for anyone, not just those guys. If you only play down here, it's strung with 11s. It's got very low action. It's got a really fast neck that doesn't have a heel. So this is my favorite current, if I could call it modern Martin. The SC13 is my favorite, and I'm not apologetic about that at all. This is not me. I don't own this, and this isn't something that I've played all my life, but I could certainly see me starting to. That's the SC13E. And just so you believe that I'm a guy that likes variety, I'm not a mahogany guy per se. If you run in the same circles I do online, you might know everybody says that I say rosewood, which is true. But the D18 authentic aged, this is probably my second favorite guitar in the store right now. We've had it quite a while, and maybe part of that is because I play it a lot. But this is a recreation of an old 30s D18. Nothing at all like the SC13E. So if anybody's watching this thinking, well, how could he like those two guitars as much as each other? They're so different. Every guitar's got its own voice it's a tool for a different job. I wouldn't play the songs that are built for this on the SC and vice versa. But these are the two guitars I really, had you not asked me, I would have told anybody this morning that these are the guitars that I would call my current favorites.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And I guess because we've still got just a little bit of time left, maybe I can ask you about sort of custom shop, right? So
sure.
I know there've been a lot of talk about custom shop and whether to get VTS or not to get VTS, but I think maybe we'll stick to custom shop today and save VTS for maybe another time. So moving on, so back to custom shop, I guess. What proportion of orders do you get for the custom shop, and is the sky really the limit, or are there some restrictions other than cash, of course?
Well, that's probably a better question for my brother Andrew. He's in charge of the custom shop here, but I'll give
Uh-huh.
you what I've come to know.
Uh-huh.
And it's not that I haven't worked with the custom shop, but over the last 2 years, we've been doing some things here at the shop where Andrew's taken over some of those responsibilities.
Hmm.
We've just been too busy for both of us to do it, so we kind of had this quick meeting. You or me, which one of us is gonna? We get phone calls all day long about that, so it has to
Hmm.
be one centralized person, and Andrew's doing a really good job with it.
Hmm.
If the sky is the limit, this, with an asterisk, there are going to be things you can't do for some reason, and it's not a dig, but there are things Martin doesn't want you to be allowed to do,
Hmm.
because they want to ask you to buy the guitar you're building from. Some authentic features, for example,
Hmm.
you can't build an authentic. If you like this one, you can't build a D18 1970 authentic aged. They're going to make you go to an authentic that's already built if you want things like authentic bracing. There's a list of things you can't have in a custom shop. The
Hmm.
sky's almost the limit. One of the good things about the custom shop is you can it basically it's a good exercise in somebody might call and say, I want this, and we could say, well, have you considered the OM42, because you're basically specking out something that the OM42 has 95% of what you want, and it
Hmm.
gets a good conversation going where some customers who think they want custom shop, maybe they still do want it, but they might not need it.
Hmm.
But percentage of orders, we probably maybe 20% of our orders are custom shop.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when I say that, probably 15%, or if you would, contact us and spec something up for yourself. And
Hmm.
the other percentages, we actually, take some time during the year and we'll
Hmm.
spec out maybe a D18 with a narrow nut, and we'll get
Hmm.
3 or 4 of those, or a triple O 28 with an Adirondack top. So
Hmm.
we definitely work with the custom shop as much as any dealer to get a
Hmm.
lot of inventory coming through, but only some of it is uh, for order for somebody else, and a lot of it's for our own stock.
Got it. Got it. And because I've seen some really, uh, I've seen some really wild custom shops. I've like I saw like a cedar Honduran rosewood OM from Martin, and
Ooh.
I was like, I didn't know they did cedar, and I didn't know they did Honduran rosewood. I was like, this is wild. I played it and it sounded great. The thing is, I played it and everybody went, "That sounds fantastic," and they went, "What is it?" And I'm like, "A cedar Honduran," and they said, "Who built it?" And I said, "It's from Martin." They're like, "No." Disbelief. They were like, "No way."
Oh yeah, and it reminds you that Martin can do a lot more than they're going to put in the standard catalog. And even if it's something, it might be Honduran and cedar, but every other thing about that guitar is very regular to their lineup. But you might take something like a D18 and just change the top wood and maybe
Mm-hmm.
the ornamentation, and it's going to be exactly right for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not you go through us or your local dealer, or regardless of where you do it through,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you're working with a dealer who knows the custom shop, who
Mm-hmm.
knows how it works. We have a very good rep that we talk to 3 or 4 times a day. So
Mm-hmm.
we're definitely, connected, and it's something where if you know what you want, it's not as risky. But if you think you know what you want and you have to ask for advice on, am I getting the right bracing? Does that top seem like it's going to be a good thing?
Mm-hmm.
We can certainly go further than just taking your notes. We actually have get a good conversation started with you,
Mm-hmm.
check it with our rep, and then before the order gets put in,
Mm-hmm.
we make sure that you're sure you like it. We're sure that Martin's advice is right, and
Mm-hmm.
Martin doesn't say, "Listen, there's times Martin would say to us, we can do that, but we don't recommend it," and we'll say why, and giving that information back to the customer,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not they take the advice. I think it's an important step to make sure you don't just think that the custom shop is a laundry list of, I want this, that, and this, and build it. If
Mm-hmm.
Martin thinks, hey, that's not really going to be a good idea, you're the player, but allow me to tell you why I think you should change A to B. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
an important part of the step.
Great. Well, that's fantastic. I think we've taken up way too much of your time already. Thank you so much
So
for
happy to do it.
for chatting with us. I've turned the video on, so I think everybody knows I tend to turn the video off so we don't hog the bandwidth too much. We get to see you in full glory and full HD glory.
Yeah.
So again, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to us, and hopefully we'll catch up soon. And we'll definitely, on the next time, we'll definitely try to catch up on VTS and touch on that.
That would be great. It's entirely my pleasure. I appreciate you having me on.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks, Maury. Take care now.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.